Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hub channel. Very pleased to have Rob Roy with me today, who is the Chief Trading Strategist over at EwoTrader. And anybody who's been around this Hub channel knows you very well, Rob. You've been a regular partner for us. How's things?
Great, JP. How are you today?
I'm
Happy to
very
be
well.
here.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. I think the intention today is to get you on to have a bit of a chat about the AI trading signals that we're planning to release soon. You were literally the first trader that had access to our AI trading signals going way back in about 2020. And so I think your insights on how you trade these signals and the difference it's made to your trading is going to be really, really interesting for people. So that's sort of the plan for the discussion today. And I might start by asking, over the years, how has it made a difference to what you're doing as a trader?
Well, the differences are just short of phenomenal, to be quite honest. I felt like I had a pretty good trading system to start with. And of course, we all heard about AI and AI being the future of trading. I know you with HUBB have been in the forefront of creating AI for traders like myself to enhance our trading systems. And the results speak for themselves, really. I mean, it just has been eye-opening, the results that have occurred from the signals. And I think the most important thing is when you're trading, you have a little degree of uncertainty, right? You know that just some trades are going to win, some trades are not going to win. But when you have the AI behind you and the percentages and you see it play out time after time after time, it generates more confidence in yourself, which allows more patience. And it's just been mind-boggling, to be quite honest, JP.
And I'm interested, Rob, how long do you think it took you to become comfortable with trusting the AI to build up that level of confidence in its signals?
Well, like anything new, and I'm an old dog, right? And I always talk about it. It takes a while to teach old dog new tricks. And in the beginning, I think like most people would be with something new, maybe a little bit of skepticism. Is this really going to be that big of a difference? So I think I had some skepticism in the beginning, but to be honest, relatively quickly, that went away. Because when you see the results, that's the bottom line, right? Trading is a results-driven vehicle, and when you see the results happen pretty quickly, that apprehension goes away. So it was pretty short-lived. It was there in the beginning, but it was pretty short-lived to see the results that I said earlier speak for themselves.
And Rob, I'm curious, do you still do as much of your own analysis as an overlay after you've got that AI signal, or do you just kind of run with the AI signal? To what degree are you still, independently looking at the charts and doing your analysis?
Well, I still do some of that, but it's become more rare and more rare. And looking at the AI signals, I mean, to see the signals come out is an exciting part of the day. I used to talk about how I'm so different than the average person, where Friday night comes and everybody's looking for the weekend. And I don't like Friday nights because the market closes. And I'm always excited about Sunday night because we know Monday morning the markets are going to open. And then you just have those juices going in the world of trading. But seeing the AI signals come out has just added to that. And noting that they're going to be coming out, I can't wait to see them. So I still do a little bit of looking at things before, but primarily I'm just looking for those AI signals, and I don't pay that much attention to anything else. When you've been around as long as I have, you still have a few ingrained things that you've noticed over the years, and every now and then, you just get a feeling or an intuition that something may happen, and I see those from time to time. But the vast majority is just relying on those AI signals because the performance and the confidence and the percentage of accuracy is just so high that you'd be crazy to try to put trades on without it, in my opinion. Now, I mean, it's the future of trading, and you guys at HUBB have been such in the forefront of this and way in front of where everybody else is, at least to my knowledge, that I feel blessed to be working with you guys and have access to those signals.
Yeah, look, I appreciate that, Robin. I actually want to throw a chart up here, which is one of the signals that you do use. It's the sideways signal. And the reason I want to throw this up is because this was the first signal that we started trading with, and it did actually come from one of your ideas. So, maybe you could just give us a little walk down memory lane on what was the original idea, where did that come from, and then, this alert that we're seeing, this signal that we're seeing from the AI on the screen, how do you use that?
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up, because this is something that I noticed over the years, and I did notice this a long time ago, that when stocks have a big drop, whether it's an earnings report, a bad news report, something that comes out, when stocks have big drops like that, they tend to just go sideways. I almost call it like flatlining, like a heart attack. They just go dead sideways. But having the AI come in and give you a ranking of the likelihood that it's going to stay in a one standard deviation mode not only gives you the opportunity to feel confidence, as I mentioned before, that you are going to stay sideways. It helps in creating the strategy that you're going to use, because there's a number of different strategies that you can utilize for sideways trades. So when you see it come down, and then you see those two ranges that were on the screen, where you have your upward move, you have your downward move, that brackets the standard deviation for you. If that plays into old support and old resistance, then you're looking at a butterfly. If it doesn't, if it's kind of in between on its own, maybe you're looking at a calendar spread. So the fact that it adds confidence that you are right, this is one of those that's going to stay sideways following the big drop, is one thing. But the second part, as we all know, trading is two pieces, right? You have the technical analysis, and then you have the options analysis. And so it aids in both, even though it's not directly correlated to options pricing, et cetera. It helps you in constructing what's the best option trade for the situation. So taking something that I noticed a long time ago and just supercharging it, basically. And it's been great. It's a wonderful income strategy. It's not one of those get rich quick strategies. You're not trying to pick direction. You're just trying to create a trade that puts time and volatility in your favor, two of the bigger enemies for directional trading. So it puts those in your favor and helps you determine what's the best option strategy to take advantage for the situation. So I think you were referring more on the technical side of things, but it's amazing how it helps with constructing the best options trade on top of the pattern that you see.
Yeah, I think that's going to be something that's very interesting for a lot of people to tap into your experience with this, because having the AI signal is one thing, and we're talking about how it gives confidence, but there is also that element of being an experienced trader that it doesn't replace and it doesn't take away. You still need to understand how to set up and manage and exit a trade, both in a profitable situation and potentially in a losing situation. And I think what you just talked about there in terms of selecting the different option strategy that you might be using and how to manage those trades is going to be the learning curve for people. But I think there's a lot of things that they're going to be able to pick up for you. So as we move into this phase where we're starting to make these signals more broadly available to, private traders, retail traders, I think there's going to be a lot of people who are looking to you for that kind of guidance. It's going to be an interesting exercise to see how they pick up AI trading and run with the kind of strategies that you've been doing.
Yeah, it's interesting. Having access to the AI signals now when the general public doesn't has been great, and I've really enjoyed that. And you kind of fight the emotions of, gosh, you're going to be making this available to everybody. I like just having them available to myself. But in the end, you get the original signal. But as you mentioned, and I appreciate the comment about experience, there's still no substitute for experience. And being around for a while, I hate aging myself, but I've been doing this for a very long time. And you do get insights as to situations and what strategies. So there's so much more to it than just having the AI signal on the charts. And it is very helpful as far as constructing the best options trade. But Is there some kind of deal we can make to where you're not going to make this available for everybody?
Well, look,
Speaking from
we've
here.
I would be lying if I said we haven't had the thought ourselves that why are we making this available? I guess we started out from a position of creating trading platforms, trading signals, tools, and analytics for people. And as you said, it was about 2019 when we started doing our initial work on AI. We got our first models together around 2020, and now looking at the results, we do, I think there's always that thing in our industry where people say, oh, if it's that good, why are you selling it? And I don't know. We started down this process, but there's certainly alpha, there's certainly value in these signals that we've got to the point where we're questioning how much of it we should be disclosing to everybody and at what price. And so, for the moment, we're committed, and I think, we've made undertakings to our existing client base. But, I remember in the early days when we started working on the signal we were just talking about, people were asking you if they can, get the inside news on how it works. And we were very clear about we're not giving the IP away. We're going to hold it very tightly because we could see immediately that there's great value in it. So I think it's highly likely that we will limit the distribution and the number of people that have access to it, and potentially limit some of the actual work that does go public, so to speak, versus what we might hold for ourselves, because it is that valuable. It really is, and we're seeing it in the results that you are able to generate by using them.
Yeah, and I've got a number of thoughts as I was listening to you talk there, and it was a little bit tongue in cheek, as far as maybe we can work something out where you don't give it to everybody. But I think me, and you know that part of the reason that I do this, and I'm so interested in helping to educate the average trader. My background was I spent a short period of time as a traditional investment advisor. I was a registered securities principal. I was in all the high-level meetings, traveling around, and just the thought process that those institutions have, where they're so bottom line focused on how the institution is performing, very little commentary about how their account holders or subscribers are doing. They just don't talk about that kind of thing, and I've kind of wanted to be on the side of helping the average trader. So I do give you kudos for doing that. I was a little tongue in cheek on not wanting to give them up when I'm getting them now.
Well, and I think, Rob, it's not so much, clearly there is a profit motive there from a point of view of wanting to have information above and beyond what other traders have so that we have an edge. And that's what makes markets, right? There's a disparity in the level of information on different sides, and people take different actions because they've got different levels of information. But there's also, for the clients that we do bring on, if we make it too broadly available, we just risk limiting the effectiveness of the strategy, for the reason that everybody's got the same signal, everyone's acting similarly in the market, and that kind of edge and that opportunity goes away. So it's not just that we want to hold it for ourselves. We also want to preserve the value for our clients, I think, in those people that are using the signals, if that makes sense.
It makes 100% sense. And the word you used is really appropriate, edge. Actually wrote a book where he talked a lot about that. It's one of the things that floor traders use. It's one of the things that institutional traders use, is having the edge. And in general terms, institutional traders have that edge. Institutional traders have an edge against retail traders. But you're right, if everybody has these signals and everybody's trading the same thing, then it isn't going to work as well, because markets are made because people have differing views. So let's make it available to those that really want to learn and really want to have that edge on their side and are serious about wanting to become more successful traders. And this is the type of thing that can level the playing field for the average trader, but not if everybody has it. If everybody has it, then it's kind of shooting himself in the foot, right? It takes away that edge. And so I'm highlighting that word because it's such an appropriate word. in the world of trading, and it's used by professional traders all the time. So giving the average trader that's really serious about it this edge, I think, is great. And then limiting it so everybody doesn't have it, I think, is important as well.
Yeah, actually, talking about edge, I think my perception is that markets have changed over the time. We've been doing this a long time. We've known each other a long time, and markets have changed in that more and more participants are coming in. They're better armed with platforms. There's any number of great brokerage platforms, analytics platforms that all give you real-time data, the intraday information, earnings information, all of the tools and analytics. And so you've got more and more people competing. And I was talking about this with Mike yesterday, actually, in that where you used to look for a significant run in a stock, and you might be thinking about options positions that you're setting up with the intention of doubling your money. You know, what's my percent move to double for this option trade? Those opportunities, to my mind, are less and less because you've got more people who are more informed and they're acting more quickly, and those opportunities, the markets just don't move the same way they used to. And so this is where what we're doing with the AI gives you a big advantage, because if you've got all those guys out there and they've all got, a number of indicators under their charts, and they're all kind of aware of the basic group sector rotation and what the index is doing, how are you going to beat them? And AI gives you that power, because AI is not just looking at those few charts. AI is looking at every chart in the market. It's applying literally every indicator, confirming which stocks are correlated, which indicators are ranking, above the others. It's looking at the phases of the economy. It's looking at the options pricing, liquidity, volatility. There's just no way a human can do that analysis. We're using a Google Cloud project and pumping all of this data into it with a heap of processing power. And so the signal that you're getting out is edge. There's more analysis there than what 90%. You are now put in the position of competing with those corporates and those hedge funds that are doing these kind of programs, which is exactly what you've been talking about.
100%. And you talked about we've known each other for a long time. I go all the way back to the days where I had a subscription to Investors Business Daily. I'd get that newspaper and then I'd stay up at night and read it so that I could be prepared for the next day. We didn't have all the online trading platforms, et cetera, that are available today. And then when those came out and people could use their favorite technical indicator and create a technical trading system, that gave us slight edge there. And now everybody has that, right? Everybody has access to those. All the online trading platforms have technical indicators, et cetera. So all that edge is gone. And then there's so much trading from the institutional side that's electronic now, and they can react, in the drop of a hat to things that are going on from the retail public. They see those things. It's harder and harder to find the edge. But AI, that's the area that's new. That's something that's new, and that is what's provided the edge. And I've seen it in the results of the trading. Maybe one day this is common. But right now, you guys are the leaders in the forefront of it. And this is what right now today can give you that edge back that's been taken away from the fact that so many people have online platforms for just general technical analysis systems. So I feel that. You had asked me before, what kind of a difference has AI made? And we hadn't used that word edge yet. And I don't want to overuse it, but it's so important in the world of trading. What gives you the edge over the rest of the retail traders out there? And this does. And that's where the excitement is. I enjoy watching the markets each day, but I'll enjoy watching them even more now. Just seeing those AI signals come out and having the confidence that there's a really extremely high likelihood that this is going to work out. It takes that doubt out of your mind. It takes the negativity out. And we know that trading is emotional, right? We can talk about you got to take the trading out, or take the emotions out of trading as much as we want, but it's still an emotional thing. And the AI allows you to, instead of having that uncertainty of emotion, having the confidence in emotion to know that there's a very high likelihood that your target price is going to be hit. So yeah, it's a different world now, and this is moving forward. This is looking into the future. I've joked a lot that I'm not a seer of the future. I'm kind of a react afterwards, an old school guy. But this is something that I kind of pat myself on the back with getting together with you guys, because this is one of the few things that I was forward looking on, and the fact that I've been with this since you guys first started this AI stuff. I feel like finally I've been forward thinking on something, and it's just been exciting from a day-to-day basis now. I can't describe it any other way than the excitement of putting on trades again.
Well, something else that you've been doing for a long time is Elliott Wave, and I want to just bring up another chart here, which is looking at another one of the signals that you've been using. I think you've been using this one now for a year or so, and this is one of the Elliott Wave 3 signals. And maybe you can just explain to us what's going on here on the chart, and how you're looking at this signal and what kind of difference that has made with how you're treating Elliott Wave.
You know, going back in the old days of Elliott Wave, and as you're aware, JP, I'm not sure everybody is, I've been trading Elliott Wave since 2001, and all of the education that's out there, stay away from the Wave 3, right? Wait till Wave 4 is formed, and then trade the Wave 5. Well, all that does is put you in the same pool as the rest of the retail traders, but anyone that's experienced anything or learned anything about Elliott Wave knows that Wave 3 is the strongest of all waves. And I've been trying to pound the table for so long on let's not ignore the Wave 3. Why do we want to ignore the strongest of all the waves? It makes no sense. And it just fell on deaf ears. Nobody was interested in it. But now, when we have the AI that looks at the Wave 3 and tries to get you in earlier in the Wave 3 so you can catch moves like this, and then you apply the basic general Elliott Wave rules of zigzags, which are most people don't understand what they are because it's viewed as a corrective wave. They don't understand that you can trade directionally using zigzag patterns. And when you're in the Wave 3, this is strongest of all waves, and now you only have a 3-wave pattern to worry about as far as the zigzag, 3 segments, if you will, to use Ralph Nelson Elliott's words. And you can see the price target, because the hardest thing in a Wave 3, the most difficult thing is where is the Wave 3 going to end? And as you can see on the chart that you've shown, the AI is telling us where that likely Wave 3 is going to run into resistance. And it helps you to exit while you're in the strongest part of the move. And then when you get back to the option side that we were talking about, when you have a move like you're showing on your screen, there's IV being pumped into those call options, right? Because people see the stock moving up, everybody jumps in. And in this chart, we're nearing the target. You're getting close to the point where you'd want to exit. And this is where most of the average traders would be getting in. So they're overpaying for their call options because they're paying for that extra AI, and they're not going to get out when it hits the resistance area, because nobody knows where the Wave 3 is going to end. But the AI is telling you where it's going to get out or where it's going to end, or likely run into resistance. And that gives you the opportunity to exit your trade while you have that additional AI in the premium. So it's a cherry on top, is the way I always word it. I like ice cream sundaes. And so, having that piece of information is just golden. We all talk about getting in, but everyone that's been trading for a while knows the more difficult question is when to get out. And so when you see that you have a target price there, and it allows you to get out while you're in the strongest part of the strongest move, there's just no substitute for the power that gives you as an options trader.
Yeah, it's awesome. And, I think looking at, if anybody's interested in having a look at Rob's track record, go over to ewotrader.com and, click around on some of the AI strategies, and the performance has been phenomenal. And we're not just talking, hey, here's a couple of great winning trades. We're talking years of consistent performance. And the thing that I think we've both noticed in what you're doing, and this comes back to what we were talking about with the change in the markets, is that it's consistent activity and taking regular, I'll say reasonable profits, not small profits. The average profit there is still double digit, etc. But it's not hanging in trades for an extended period of time. It's taking these AI signals, running with the move, and I think your average trade time is way down, if I'm not mistaken.
It's less than half. It's less than half the amount of time that I used to be in trades. And, I used to think I was a pretty decent trader before over all the years. And then seeing the results that the AI has done, supercharging the trading activity as well as the results has just really been eye-opening to me. And the fact that even if it doesn't move your way initially, right off the bat takes off. There's enough of those. You can see them in the results. If you go to the website and look at the results, you can see that we've had plenty of very short-term trades. But even the ones that take a little longer, it's still averaging less than half the amount of time that I was in trades before. So if you get better results in less than half the time, I don't think you have to be a genius in math to figure out that's going to increase your profitability in the world of trading.
And Rob, the other thing that we were talking about, a week or two ago was the reduction in the volatility of your earnings in terms of just limiting drawdowns. Can you talk a little bit about that in terms of how the AI's changed the way you're trading and how that's impacted? Because I know, and we've had this conversation also, where trading for yourself is one thing because you've got your own risk appetite, but trading an alert service where it's intended for an audience of many other people, many other traders, is a different thing because you don't know exactly what their risk tolerance is. So you've got to manage how that works. So I'm just interested to hear how that sort of all comes together with the AI.
Yeah, and I talk about this quite often, that we're all different, right? As traders, you pointed it out, we all have different risk tolerances. Some of us are naturally more aggressive than others. And I usually talk about, if you're aggressive, you can do this. And if you're more conservative, wait and do this. But we always talk about patience, and drawdowns are never fun for a trader. And especially with that whole emotion thing that we talked about earlier, that when you have drawdowns, I don't care how much you can focus on, I'm going to take the emotions out. It hurts when you see accounts go down with drawdowns. So not only has the AI showed that the average time in a trade is less than half, the drawdowns, I don't know exactly what the relationship is percentage-wise, but the drawdowns are dramatically less. So if you're looking within yourself and you're agreeing that, I don't really like drawdowns and they make me nervous, then the AI helps there as well. I talked about the point of sometimes the stock just immediately takes off, and we have plenty of results to show that. And other times it may take a little longer. But the key difference here from the AI standpoint is if it takes a little longer, it doesn't mean there's a big retracement in the stock. And then it turns and moves back up. In other words, you experience a big drawdown before it goes and hits the target. Maybe the AI has identified a stock that's really strong and it needs to consolidate for a little while before it goes up and hits the target. Well, there's a big difference in the drawdown in your account when a stock is consolidating versus having some sort of a big pullback before you go up and hit the target. So the percentage of accuracy is higher, the activity is more, the time in the trade is less than half, and the drawdowns are less. So that sounds like an awful lot of positives in your trading repertoire for me, and that's what I've been experiencing. All those things have not just been thoughts or theories, but they've come to fruition and they're proven in the results.
And Rob, that leads me into a question that I did want to ask you. Is there a negative? Have you found anything that is something you've had to adjust to that is, not ideal with AI? I mean, we're talking in glowing terms here, but is there anything that is a drawback with waiting on AI trades?
Well, I stay up late at night because the signals come in at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So as you know, though, I'm a night owl anyway, so it's not a big deal. But I literally can't go to sleep at night until I see those signals come in. I mean, it's really, I'm almost addicted to it, to be quite honest with you. And I joked earlier that, starting to allow a limited number of other people to have access to them It's tongue in cheek, as I said earlier before. But as far as a negative, the biggest negative, to be quite honest, and this is from an ego standpoint, JP, is I really thought after being around this long that I knew a lot and that I was pretty good. And I still feel like I was pretty good before all this AI infusion into the technical analysis came along. And it's humbling. It's humbling to see how great these results are when you've been doing something for 27, 28 years and feel like you're pretty good at it. And then just to see that this has taken it to an entire new level. But you have to take ego out to be a successful trader anyway. But this has certainly allowed me to realize that there's things out there that are way smarter than I am. And I'm always willing to learn. And I like to be around people that are smarter than me. Now we have software that's smarter than me. And we have trading signals. And the data scientists are creating these amazing conglomerations of indicators that just take everything into account that is literally impossible to do on your own. There's just no way that you can recreate this on your own. You don't have the bandwidth. Even if you have the computer knowledge, you don't have the time to do it. And having the AI there, and it's just gotten better and better from day one. It continues to improve, and that's the true nature of AI. And so I can't find a big negative other than, the tongue-in-cheek stuff. Other than, I thought I was pretty good, and now I'm realizing that the computers are better.
Maybe a bit of insomnia is the only drawback that you can identify.
Yes, that's for sure. But so late nights waiting for them, and then the it just builds the excitement. So it adds to the insomnia, because after you see the signals, then you can't wait for the trading day to start the next day. So you don't necessarily get a great night's sleep because you can't wait. You can't wait to put it to use, right? You can't wait to put those trades on.
One of the critiques that some other traders have had with some of the signals is that sometimes there's none. And I think, in discussing this with other people, I actually think that's a benefit. But how do you look at it when you might go for a few days and the AI is, obviously it's always giving you signals, but its confidence level on a particular signal may be below the threshold for which you're going to take it and run with the trade. So how do you see that?
That's such a great question, because as a trader, and I've talked about the excitement of trading, and then when you see the signals come out and the scores aren't high enough to put on a trade, then you have the patience of waiting. But it doesn't take long to realize there's a reason that the AI, that's one of the big things that I've learned, JP, is that there's a reason that AI is not giving you some signals. It's the best thing to do is just to sit back and say, okay, this is one of those periods of time where we wait and we watch and we know that it's going to come back. And the periods of time haven't been very long. You get a week or two with fewer signals. But going back and looking historically, it's been the exact right thing. Because what happens is the market whipsaws in those. You go through a consolidation period where you have upward moves, you have downward moves. We all know how trading ranges work. You go up and hit resistance, and you come back and hit support. Which direction do you pick? And when the AI is not giving you signals with high enough scores to warrant alerts or trades, it's telling you this is a period of time where we wait. Bide your time. Have your patience. The signals will come back, and they have every single time. And then you go back and look and say, the very right thing to do was not put on a trade. I've gone with the expression for a long time. Sometimes the best trade is no trade, and the AI really helps to exaggerate that or emphasize that as well. There's periods of time when there's a reason that you're not getting those signals, and that reason is this is a time to pause and wait. And you don't have to wait that long.
That's awesome. And Rob, I think I really appreciate your time for this conversation. With the signals being released to the public, there's going to be a lot of people looking for guidance and looking for information on how to use them. And your experience over the last several years is obviously something that people are going to gravitate to. So appreciate you being generous with your time and having the conversation. And we'll look forward to well, there's a bunch of new AI stuff coming down the pipeline that I'm sure you'll be involved in, and we'll look forward to all having the opportunity to trade more regularly using AI. But thanks again for your time.
I can't wait to see what new and improved it comes out, and I appreciate you having me, and it's great to chat with you, and congratulations on being a market leader in where I think the entire market is going, and allowing some people to have the opportunity to be on the forefront as well. So I hope people will take advantage of this.
Thanks very much, Rob. And if you're interested in what Rob does and you haven't yet had a look at the website, go across and have a look at ewotrader.com. Check out all of the trade alert service and education that Rob and the team over there do. Thanks very much, Rob, and no doubt we'll have you back on the channel soon.
I look forward to it, JP. Thanks for having me.
Thanks a lot. See you later, everyone.